This is the Art of Renovation Live. I'm your host, Paul Foster from Contract Renovations and Custom Homes. This is our question and answer episode. So I'm answering a bunch of questions that came in, and moving on is going to be the question of the day. And this one kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit. And it's all about why there's such a variation between the quotes I receive for your project. So look, I just alluded to this in the last segment. You need to know what your scope and your specifications are, because if you don't have those clearly outlined and to provide to your contractors who you plan to have price your project, then you're leaving it up to the contractor to make a whole bunch of assumptions on your behalf. And not every contractor is equal or approaches it in the same way, right? So let's talk about me, because this is what I know best. So the way that I price things here at Contact is I give you what I think is a realistic price up front. Okay, so if you know you want, let's say it's kitchen, we're talking about kitchens, right? You want to do a kitchen reno. Like I said before, I'm going to give you a really solid allowance for your sink, for your faucet, for your countertops, for your cabinets, for everything. And I'll base it on historically what we know has been required in projects that are similar to your project. And based on what we've seen so far within whether we've been to a site visit or we've done a video call or looking at photos, we'll build what we think is a realistic price that is actually deliverable. One thing that I see out there in the marketplace a lot, which is very frustrating for me, is a very different angle, which is give somebody the most attractive price you can up front, just to get them in the door and then drive the price up later. And that's not a game that I play, and I don't want to be involved in that because it's a very frustrating process if it is. We try to price things in a way that ultimately, when it goes from rough estimating to the design agreement, that you can hold the line on your price, that every choice you make will not be an upgrade. So within the example I gave for your kitchen sink, if I gave you $850 for your sink allowance, when you go to the showroom, there's lots of choices. So you can probably find one for $850 or less. But if I based your whole estimate on allowances that were, say, $350 for your kitchen sink and $300 for your kitchen faucet, when you go to the showroom, you're going to have very few options, and everything's going to become an upgrade. And basically what's going to happen is your project price is going to grow and grow and grow, right? So it kind of comes down to ultimately you being as clear as you can up front with the contractors who are pricing your projects. What is your scope? What is the spec, right? Ideally, you have all that confirmed and it goes out to tender and everyone can quote on an apples to apples comparison for you. And there you go. You know exactly what you're looking at. But when you're just saying, I want a kitchen reno, I don't really know what I want. I don't think I want quartz or granite countertops. I don't really want IKEA. I like a custom cabinet. Backsplash sounds nice. And sure, why not under cabinet lighting? Well, there's a ton of variables within those four things alone, right? And if somebody's taking the angle of trying to make your quote look really attractive because they just want to try and get you to hook on, then they can pick a whole bunch of low-end stuff and make the number look fantastic. And on the other end, if you get a guy like me out there who's going, look, I'm going to give you a really good allowances to give you a realistic price that you can lean on and that you'll have lots of choices, then you're going to look at those two estimates, and one's going to be probably $10,000 lower than the other one, right? And it's really hard for people to turn away from that $10,000 difference, and I recognize that, right? But I think that in the long run, and I see it all the time, hearing from clients that, oh my goodness, we wish we'd just gone with you. In the end, it cost the same as you said, or maybe even more, but it was a huge headache getting there. And for me, that's like very disheartening to hear that, because ultimately, I just want to come up front and be real about the numbers and not play any games about it all. So anyhow, there you go. There's kind of why you'll see variations in the quotes. I know it's a long-winded answer, but it's something that I have to think about every day, looking at how we prepare our rough estimates and our proposals, and we just choose to do it in a way that's very direct and very realistic. And our clients, I think, really appreciate that. But I also see how some people get sucked into going for these low quotes just to find out later, actually, that's not the real price. So good luck to you. All I would say is, do your research and try to prepare in advance as much information as you can about your project so that your contractors can provide estimates or quotes that are, that are equal in spec, right? Okay, so thanks for that question.